Welcome, listeners, to Kyle and Cody's called CinemaCast. But yeah. So I guess happy holiday season?
Yeah, that one's on me this time. I got sick for like a week and a half now. Now I'm still sick at this point in time, which is kind of concerning. I might need to actually go see a doctor, but I don't like doctors, so.
I mean, who can trust like a bunch of people that write vital information in chicken scratch? Is what I always say.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Like, I've never met someone with a doctorate that writes in legible writing.
I like how you've included that not only to like medical professionals, it's just like anybody who has a doctorate. Like,
yes, yeah, I know that's literally true.
I don't think I know anybody with a doctorate at this point.
Well, you've gone to university. People have you've taken university classes, or have you gotten like physical writing from them?
No, I've never actually been in an actual university class, and I wouldn't say I'm like friends with my professors.
No, yeah. Whereas I did go to the physical place and got like handwriting back from them.
Fair enough.
But yeah, no. All the shit my grade school teachers gave me about like having good writing, and no one I've met with any academic achievement has good writing or legible writing. So
fair enough.
Yeah, we were gonna try to squeeze in a hockey movie before Christmas. We couldn't find the one I wanted. We might still manage it, but we were gonna review the French Canadian hockey comedy Les Boys. But apparently no one has it on anything.
The CBC didn't even have it.
Yeah, no, and I you know what, I even had like something tell me the CBC had it and it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I also had someone tell me the Apple TV had it and it didn't. I found Prime Video and Netflix both have the prequel movie that came out in 2015, and Tubi has Les Boys 3. Les Boys Trois? Les Boys Trois.
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 It was like the other day I was scrolling through Crave because I wanted to watch a film. I think this was right around Halloween, and I was crossing over, and apparently like Crave doesn't like filter out French language speaking movies, which like is absolutely insane to me. So I'm like scrolling through horror films, and it's like Les Predator. Like,
oh, so like it would double up the French version of films.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh,
so there'd be the Predator in a column, and it'd also be like Les Predator. I started watching one of the older Purge videos or movies because I like watching the Purge every once in a little while, and I got halfway through it, like the opening credits, and I'm like, this whole thing is in French, but the picture that they used was clearly not in French. Like the poster was completely in English, so I had no way of telling that this was supposed to be a French movie. Yeah.
I wonder how they'd even get away with that, because I don't think you're allowed to have like an English language sign in like Quebec anyway, so it might have been like, would that have been the screening for France or some African like country where they speak French but also English?
It might have been just like actual French, not French Canadian.
Yeah,
which is
weird.
Like I took French in school.
I
like if
also
you
did.
Yeah, so if you ask me at this point in time to like speak French, you'd think after taking it for like 4 years in elementary school. I didn't take it in high school because well, I
Yeah.
really didn't want to. I'm always like completely shocked that there's people out there that have like, I know how to speak 5 or 6 languages, and I'm like, I can kind of speak English on a good day, like fairly fluently, but that's about it.
Like when I was trying my best and taking a university French class, I remember distinctly I very nearly failed it, but only because I can get something down in writing. Like
Hmm.
if I'm up and practiced, I can get it down so like I can sort of get how to like write something down in a different language. But like when I do the like actual speaking component of any like second language test, I will instantly fail. Like I have a distinct memory of them trying to like get me to understand, like after near the end of like a French class, and them trying to say some words to me in French, and I'm just like not able to process it all. Like, and I was like at the moment when I would have been at my most practiced, and just cannot for a second
I think I
space.
think
Like yeah.
I think I think I was fairly similar this last semester because I ended up taking a Cree class, which is super cool and super important that like we
Mm-hmm.
remember Cree language that died out due to residential schools and like cultural genocide and stuff like that. But god damn it, Cree makes my head hurt so badly. It
Yeah.
is a very hard language to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. I I did also take that because it was weirdly enough. It was, I think it was just because I had an easier the the Cree teacher I had was a lot easier than my French teacher. So
fair enough.
it was, I think I was able to pass that and not my French.
Hmm.
And yeah, no, and again, it was partially because he didn't do as much of a influence on like actual speaking the language, where I'm a lot better at like being able to write things down and like get it in like writing and like read.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we're reviewing Expect No Mercy is the point. Um this is yeah, we couldn't review La Boys. We were going to review this in January, but we're going to push a hockey movie into January, which we'll see which one we do. Might be La Boy. We're going to look at La Boys. We're going to look into it. Yeah, this is Expect No Mercy, a 1995 film directed by Zane Nelson. Yeah, Zane Dalen. Why does no Zane Nelson's my cousin? Why did I say Zane? No, and not no. It's Zale Dalen. Sorry,
Oh,
I
that
just went
guy's
to
Canadian.
no. Yeah, yes, directed a 1995 kung fu science fiction movie directed by Zale Dalen, a Canadian director, and this film was filmed in Scarborough, Ontario. Zale is known for directing like one-off episodes of TV shows. He did like a dozen episodes of Kung Fu. The what's the guy's name? The guy from Death Race. What
Jason
was his name? I
Statham?
had it a second ago. No, the one we watched for the show.
Bad Jason Statham?
No, think. What's the guy's name?
Dave Kerrigan.
Uh, yeah, yeah, him. I don't
Something
think that's
Kerrigan.
pronounced right. Carradine.
Yes.
Carradine's the guy's name. Yeah, yeah, he directed 12,
What's his name, Dave?
something like that. David? I think he goes by David.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, Zale Dalen directed a dozen episodes of that David Carradine show, which I didn't know until after I decided to do this. I mostly decided we wanted to review this because it's some good, wholesome Canadian entertainment. And also, they made a video game based off this. There was a Mortal Kombat ripoff And you'd think, oh wait, like this is like based off like the rip off of the original Mortal Kombat's. Like those used like real actors doing like rotoscope and whatnot. And like so that means the actors from this movie were in that video game. Nope. Nope, that's not that happened. Separately developed thing. They rushed the video game out the door. And it's one of the worst fighting games ever made.
Yeah, it's definitely up there.
Yeah, no. Released exclusively on like Windows 95, Windows 3, whatever the correct terminology is. I think it was originally on Windows 3 and then ported to 95 or something like that. I got picked up onto it because there's a YouTuber called Matt McMuscles who does a series about the worst fighting games, and this was on it. And I was like, oh, they made a movie about that, and it was made in Canada. That's up our alley. Random Canadian TV shows. More on to Zale Dalen. He's actually got some films that I may have been willing to pick up on first, honestly, if I really wanted to. But he's directed a couple random cult films. Terminal City Ricochet, Zip Tracer.
Skip Tracer.
Also known as Skip Tracer, which I'm saying like it's a guy's name, which it might be. Also known as Deadly Business. And also something we might end up reviewing, The Hounds of Notre Dame, which I think is a 1980 film about the Notre Dame Hounds. Which is a hockey team that plays in the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League, which our Estevan Bruins play against sometimes. So that might be something I'm looking into. I gotta watch it first.
Well, this is technically a hockey film.
Yeah. Well, I think it's more about like the guy who was in charge of that team in like the 1940. I don't know. I gotta see what this is about, because it's like the thing it's talking about is it's the life of Catholic priest Pere Athul Murray. As Wikipedia is telling me, a hard-smoking, chain-smoking Catholic teacher, political activist, and coach of school hockey team, the Hounds. And it says one of his plot points is he defies his superiors and gives anti-CCF speeches in 1940 Saskatchewan, which the CCF is the precursor to the NDP. CCF meaning Cooperative Commonwealth Federation, which eventually reformatted into the NDP. So this guy might be a bastard.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, I need to look. This guy.
So we're a Canadian podcast, and we don't do a whole bunch of Canadian films. Is there not like as per like the CBC broadcasting terms, do we not have to like have an obligation to do X amount of like Canadian broadcasting stuff?
No. That's like for like broadcasters. Television. We're creating an independent product.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like we're not. If we were broadcasting these movies, it'd be one thing, but we're like reviewing them, and our review is considered the product we're putting out. Also, we're on the internet, so it's not like relevant anyway, but if we were a television show, we'd be fine still. Yeah,
yes, but here's the thing, like there was a bill passed recently, and it was gonna hit YouTube channels, so
yeah, that'd be more YouTube's problem than us. If anything, that would maybe theoretically help us, because again, our end product would be considered an American product, a Canadian product, regardless of whether or not we're reviewing American films.
Fair enough.
But yeah, that's something we're going to look into. I'm going to look into. but I gotta just make sure, like, this guy's not like borderline Nazi, because he's a Catholic priest from the 40s. He might have been who spoke up against the CCF. It seems like he could be into some shit.
Fair enough.
That might not discount the review, but I gotta look into that a bit more. But yeah, expect no mercy. On to the thing we're actually talking about. 18 minutes and 45 seconds into the recording. So yeah, this was there's not much for information on this. I found out that like the guy playing Billy Banks, he was a last minute replacement for Olivier Gruner, who is a guy who we might see on the podcast later in the future. I was going to review his big movie Nemesis instead of that robot slasher movie we did a couple months ago. Whatever it was called. Not Short Circuit. Anyway, yeah, we might be seeing some more of him, but so that was a near miss from him. Yeah, this is another thing. This is a film starring Billy Blanks as Agent Justin Vanier, who's a American actor, martial art guy. Let's see what else he's in. He's in. He's he's been in a bunch of little films. I think he's in like Last Boy Scout. It looks like this is where he's in the lead role. He plays himself in Jack and Jill, like the Adam Sandler movie. No idea what that's about.
Yeah, he went on and became famous for making a workout called Tae Bo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's worth he's made sales in, I'm assuming, VHS tapes. It is reported to have grossed between $80 million and $130 million in sales. And also his brothers in this film.
Okay, yeah, and he also played himself in some 2017 film called The Clapper?
I'm assuming that's about the clap-on.
I don't think it is. But anyway.
The Clapper?
Yeah,
I'm 100% certain it's about the clap-on.
Are you? Okay.
I think I've actually watched this film.
Oh. My God, he's a thing as like a Tae Bo guy. He played himself in a bunch of TV shows too. Like he played himself in in an episode of The Parkers, an episode of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the live action one, I think, and then also the Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is a thing. I didn't realize this when I was going in. I think I've heard. Yeah. I think I thought. Yeah, Blanks is a Christian and released a special line of Tae Bo works out called The Believers that includes motivational prayers and other Christian components. He appeared on the Christian television. Okay, this is.
Also, he won a Razzie. For Jack and Jill.
That's from Jack and Jill. Well, I mean, it was because he was in Jack and Jill, and it just like gave it to like the whole cast. So yeah, I don't really think we can blame him about that.
Also, the two characters, the main characters, which is this guy and the other one, the second big guy, Jalal Murray.
Yeah, that's a guy who's in this. Yeah,
he's a Lebanese action film. He was also in another film with Banks called TC 2000 in 1993. So predating this, he was in another film that was also
TC 2000, in which he plays. Hold on, Jason Storm. This guy gets a. Goddamn. That's
Jason Storm
thing.
And his name is Nicky Picasso in this film.
Yeah, no, that's something. Yeah, no, that's kind of interesting. he also had yeah. So Jalal Mary comes in to replace Oliver Grunier. Olivier Grunier, I think, actually. It says an I in it. Wolf Larson plays the villain, a German-Canadian actor who the studio wanted in.
Yeah, he was in the
Yeah, no, he's...
Tarzan television series.
Yeah, no, yeah, this was... I think that, yeah, this was the guy who played Tarzan in our Canadian Tarzan television show.
And the only actual notable person in this filmography is Laurie Holden, who went on to play in The Walking Dead.
Yeah, Laurie Holden playing Vicky, the female lead. Oh, who's she in Walking Dead?
She plays Laurie in the first couple of seasons, up until the governor arc.
Okay, is she the older lady in that one then?
No, that's Melissa McBride, and that's Carol.
Okay. Oh, right. I forget. Yeah.
I kind of stopped following The Walking Dead once they got rid of Andrew Lincoln, who played Rick Grimes. As soon as they dropped Rick Grimes, I'm like, I'm out. So.
Oh, I lost interest a good bit before that. But we've been over this, I think. We've had discussions about this. Yeah, some guys we see a little bit later. But yeah, I think we get into the plot.
Sure.
We start the film with a title sequence that has some very very basic ass CGI like environments, like out of like probably like an early 90s video game. Like I think this CG is bad even for the time, but I think they're just trying to, they need to make it look digital because it's in VR. I don't know. It's always funny watching the past imagine the universe and what it's like. Also, it's the 90s and no one actually knows what VR is because they've only semi-invented it. It's very much in the era of like, yeah, 90s VR fantasy stuff, which is a treat at the best of times. We get through this lawnmower man-esque cutscene, and then we get cut to a bunch of our lead characters crawling around. There's one goon who has an iguana who just leaves the iguana there and comes retrieves it after the fight. Yeah, that's a thing they've decided to do in this movie. No idea why. It's just a thing they decided to give the second most important goon. No, wait, no, not even like the third most important goon. This character trait where he carries around his iguana all the time. It just leaves it just outside of the crime scenes. Yeah.
Take your pet to work day.
I mean, throughout the entire movie, because it brings it to the other, the another assassination at the end of the movie too.
Kyle, just because they're goons, it doesn't mean they're humans too.
Do you mean just because they're goons doesn't mean they're not humans too?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Do you know how much?
No,
do you know how much it would cost to hire an iguana babysitter?
I don't know. Seems like he could just leave it in his house for a couple hours. What
happens if it was an overnight mission, though?
Oh, or it's this emotional support iguana, and he's just really ahead of the curve on that.
I like to think that the iguana has diabetes and will die if he doesn't get a insulin shot every like 6 hours.
Aw, then that means the iguana's dead then.
Well, the iguana this is 1995. The iguana is dead regardless of if it has diabetes.
Well, I mean, within the logic of the movie, like the iguana is dead because it gets abandoned near the end of the movie.
Well, unless somebody picked it up, yeah.
I don't think no one picked it up on screen.
Okay. What about off screen?
Yeah, no, I made a note I made a note of the last on-screen appearance of the iguana. The iguana is not listed in the credits that I see, so yeah, no, I can't. The iguana I do not know has a name, but yeah. Anyway, credit your animal actors, people. That iguana got a lot of screen time. Damn it, it worked hard. Yeah, these goons we're seeing. There's 3 of them at the time. They're going to go assassinate this guy around a pool, and yeah, they kill him. They have to fight off his bodyguards, and admittedly, kind of neat action sequence. Although it's very Power Rangers ass. It's a very Power Rangers ass fight sequence. Our second most important fight like goon played by. I thought I had his name, but no. This is Billy Blank's brother. Duh. No, yeah, no. It's Billy Blank's brother plays the second most important goon, Spider.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Is Billy Blanks the older brother? I'm curious about this now.
I like how there was never any actual tie into the film that these two were brothers, but like they look very similar, and like
yeah,
I thought that was the main character throughout the start of the film because Billy Banks doesn't show up until later.
Yeah,
so we're just following Spider around for,
and they're brothers, so they do sort of look alike. I'm curious if. Yeah, because I'm curious to see if he's the older brother, because this will be important for later in the movie. He looks younger, I think.
While we're sitting here talking, apparently Billy Banks has a son named Billy Banks Jr. who married an actress named Sharon Brown, who was a part of a 1990s police procedural music television series called Cop Rock, which I think it was covered on an episode of the John Oliver's Last Week Tonight. Probably butchering that. But now I want to sit down. I think there was it was only ever 1 season long. It has a total of 11 episodes, and I want to sit down and watch all of them.
Michael Blanks. He looks a bit younger, but I don't know that that's.
I'm just assuming he's younger.
Yeah, Billy Blanks is also born 1955. I think I might be getting the wrong picture for him though. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I can't wait for time on this. I've wasted too much time on it. So yeah, Michael Blanks is actually pretty well featured in the beginning of this movie. He's the second biggest goon. He's the second major goon in this, or the second most important goon of the bad guys. But yeah, they end up killing this guy, getting in a big kung fu fight. Michael gives off a bunch of Jason David Frank-esque Power Rangers grunts while he's fighting. At least in this initial scene, which I mean, yeah, good for him. Rest in peace, Jason David Frank. I guess sadly he's not with us anymore. So. Yeah, and then our next scene, which just out of nowhere, is a bunch of cops pulling a guy out of a river, who's just in a car, just like pulling his car out of the river, dead. So that's just a thing we have no context for. Apparently, they make a mention that he was like a undercover guy at this. Yeah, they'll go on to explain, and they might have mentioned it a little bit in this scene where this guy, was an undercover agent. I think they called him Julian, and he was an undercover agent for going into this kung fu school, this martial arts school, and they're trying to investigate it. And they have another man on the inside that doesn't have direct contact, who's even more deep undercover. But they caught on to this guy. The bad guys caught on to this guy and threw him into the river. Pity this opening scene wasn't about that, honestly. Yeah, that's a bit of a weird thing. This opening little bit of the movie is very confusing because it doesn't feature like the important characters at all. It's just like, okay, here's our secondary character, like a bunch of tertiary and secondary characters, we're going to feature the first 20 minutes of the movie on them, or like 15 minutes of the movie on them. And that's is very confusing. So yeah, we're introduced to where the bad guys are. It's a VR training academy where they train to become deadly martial artists for reasons which no one really knows about. It's also into a bit of occult shit. We see a bunch of stuff of the main villain, Warbeck. Yeah, that's a name, Warbeck. All one word, played by Wolf Larson, and he's clearly doing some like cult leader shit, which some martial arts instructors have been wanted to do. Except this guy, normally when we have martial arts cults, they aren't very good at martial arts, or at least like they aren't generally good at martial arts. Like this guy's actually like a deadly fighter in his own right, where a lot of these martial arts cult leaders in real life are like really insulated into their own style. So yeah, that's what we're getting there. We contact another smaller martial art instructor played by Billy Blanks, Justin Vanier, who has his own little martial arts thing, and he's being brought on to, I guess, deputized, but he's listed as Agent Justin in the credits, so maybe he was always a secret agent. And he's just we're introduced to him as he teaches a student to disarm a guy with a gun, and while he's demonstrating this disarming technique, one of the cops who pulled Julian out of the lake says, "Oh yeah, you should try that with a loaded gun," and then he points the gun at a target and fires it off, demonstrating that he was a loaded gun. Yeah, I don't really see the need for that. Like that's probably not the way you practice that technique. You probably just grab like a BB gun or something, and see if they can get the shots off or whatever. It's also like noted in the lore of the movie as like, oh yeah, this is a special gun that's like very powerful and way more powerful than other types of handguns, and also never brought up again in the rest of the movie. That's a whole thing. So he gets brought on to contact their man on the inside, a guy called Agent Eric, no last name, played by Jalal Mary. Mary? Yeah, that's just, yeah, Merhi. Interesting. He's also like, he's clearly trained in martial arts, but he is a lot smaller than a lot of the other actors in this movie. Yeah, they couldn't find one of the buff martial arts guys for this. Which, yeah, if they had gotten Olivier Gruner in this, he would have been, he's a much more imposing figure.
Became known as the Beirut's Steven Seagal. Because he's Lebanese and also not very good at making films, I'm assuming.
I mean, he's got to be a better guy than Steven Seagal, at least.
A better guy, but I don't think he's a better fighter.
I feel like Steven Seagal's not that great a fighter. Like, that's probably... I mean, Steven Seagal's also, like, a heavy set guy. I don't know. Yeah, no, I'm looking at his Wikipedia. He's definitely a better person than Steven Seagal, because there's no section of the Wikipedia about him like running over a dog. So
has Steven Seagal ran over a dog
with a tank?
With a tank,
yes, like a police tank or APC, whatever.
Okay. Well,
yeah, no. I'll link to you. I'll shove a podcast your way a little later, but no.
Yes, Steven Seagal is not a good person at all.
But he gets like I guess in some parts of the states you can just deputize whoever you want still.
Mm-hmm.
Because certain sheriff's offices in the states just want to pretend they live in cowboy times. But yeah, no, that's just that's a great thing. Yeah, no, he's also probably like done some sexual offenses. yeah, he's not a great guy. Trying to think of some of the other stuff, but yeah. So we're moving on from that. You guys can Google that on your own time. Yeah, he's going to go. Justin's getting recruited into this to go join up with this VR academy and eventually go contact Eric to tell him what's up. This VR academy is apparently like a whole on dormitory situation where no one gets in or out. But yeah, so yeah, it's just like an actual Scientology level cult, apparently in Scarborough. I'd like to think Canada doesn't have as bad cult laws as some other places, but we might not. I have no reason to think that's true for certain.
Fair enough.
Then again, California apparently can't get decent anti-cult laws, so what do I know? Yeah, this guy's very Scientology. Like, yeah, people don't go in or out. It seems pretty scary, honestly. Show, yeah, we get a little bit a couple scenes with the villains. Warbeck is negotiating with this guy who wants this other guy dead because he's going to be a witness against him, and he's in like a safe house until they do trial. I don't think they thoroughly explain what this guy's deal is.
They definitely do not.
Yeah, no, I thought at first he was like a mob boss or something, but then later on, they made it seem like he hadn't killed anyone before. And I mean, if he were a mob boss, he'd just have someone killing them for him. Yeah, they never explain what his deal is. The character is Brett Hazley's Bromfield, or Halsey's Bromfield. Yeah, I don't know what's up there, but he wants this guy. Where's his name? Goldberg, played by Sam Moses, dead. So yeah, whatever the deal is, there is the deal there. I can't say for certain. So yeah, they do some scenes where like Justin has the VR technology demonstrated to him. He fights some guys in VR, which is done in like a green screen room with like some digital effects thrown over the actors who are supposed to be digital. It doesn't look very good because people from the 90s don't know what looks good. That's all I have to say about that. So after he does a bit of that, he also, in the face of this, he meets our female lead, which we mentioned earlier, Laurie Holden's who plays Vicky. Vicky is, I guess, Eric's love interest for a bit later in the movie, and she runs him through the technology and does things. After they have some lessons, Justin goes to find Eric after class because Eric's an instructor and goes to go fill him in. It's also noted that this compound has like armed guards around it, so that's just great. This place seems super shady, but no one really knows what they're doing. So yeah, they've made Eric and Justin get each other filled in, and Justin says he's going to try to get a hold of a security card so they can sneak in. And we've throughout this, we've gotten some scenes implying that Justin's not the best for technology, and he's very much the arc of this is he's challenging Warbeck with like as being like detached from reality and needs to learn more about traditional martial arts, which is a perfectly serviceable plot for a kung fu movie. Actually, that's actually an aspect I sort of like. They also have we also get demonstrated these fancy billy clubs, collapsible billy clubs that they demonstrate in the movie, which they're very impressed with and have like a fancy Asian word for, which might be skirma sticks. No, I don't think that's what they are. I forget what they're called. I don't know my. It's been a while. Fortunately, in our next scene, one of our next scenes, one of the students antagonizes Justin. He gets into a bit of a fight with him, and gets after he handily beats him, ends up getting pulled away by some of the staff and steals one of their key cards away. Vicky notices what he's doing, and thinking that he's some sort of corporate saboteur, goes to follow him around, eventually noticing that Eric's with him, and confronts them, and they end up having to quiet her down because she's going to call security, and they stop her from doing that. I don't think they actually tell her that they're cops, effectively, that they're working for the police or like federal authorities, whatever. Do you remember them saying that to her in this scene? No? Yeah, I don't think so.
I was saying that I don't think in this scene, but I remember Jalal Murray eventually like mentioning that he is police, but it seems kind of way later.
Yeah, I think he just says to trust him in this little bit where they're at the biggest tension.
Mm-hmm.
Not that either of these guys have badges on them or could demonstrate that to be true. But yeah, they break into this place. Justin goes to examine some other stuff throughout the building while Eric goes to hack into the systems. While Eric is doing some hacking, Vicky managed to sneakily call security on them. But before security can show up, Eric hacks into the system and finds out that there is finds some assassination records and finds the evidence that they need to put the team to put this cult away. So yeah, she ends up regretting that, and they have to go escape. Vicky ends up getting away for a bit after a while, but Justin and Eric end up fighting off the goons and get exposed. And as they're trying to get away, eventually, the main goon, played by Anthony De Longinus. You know, it'd be really helpful on Wikipedia is a thing where you could click a thing and they play the way the guy's name is pronounced. Yeah, he's actually originally from Canada. No, he was. Never mind. He's from California. I think he lived in Ontario for a bit. Apparently, he was on a couple seasons of Star Trek Voyager. As like a side star, and was in the Highlander TV show a fair bit. Yeah, he's playing a character named Damien, who fires a crossbow with sleep darts at Eric and Justin, knocking them out. They're discussing whether or not to kill him, and Warbeck says no, put them into the system, have the system learn their moves, and then you can kill them. So they go to do that. Instead of taking the data away, because they had siphoned the disk with the data on it to Vicky, instead of Vicky taking that data away, she hacks into it again herself to do whatever. I don't know why she doesn't. I guess she can't leave. It doesn't seem like people can leave this place. But, I mean, why she bothered hacking into the system and all, not just trying to leave, would be a bit of a problem. Or make a phone call. Although I don't know that she knows who to call. Yeah, I don't know there's a clear answer about, like, who Cody and... or not Cody. No. Cody's not in this action movie.
I'd hope not.
No, yeah.
Would generally ruin my... Also, I was, like, 2 when this movie came out, so...
Yeah, so where am I with this? I got distracted. Eric and Justin get put into the VR headsets while unconscious, and they're made to fight off a bunch of guys in the VR, and it's steadily overwhelming them as they add more and more people. Eventually, Vicky gets on to freeing them and gets them out of the system by beating up the last guy controlling it. And she is also in this meantime figured out that that they are in presence doing the assassination attempt on Goldberg. So yeah, they need to after they unhook them from the VR, they need to haul ass and get to the safe house where Goldberg is and go save him. And this is another scene, like at the beginning of the movie, where none of our main characters are. At least we got the main two goons both in this scene, because they've the assassins have brought all hands on deck to do this mission. So there's like 6 of them, and they're going to go attack the safe house. Bromfield goes to says he wants to make sure that he sees the guy there that Goldberg is dead in the assassination. So they don't just blow up the building; they go into it. And yeah, we get our scene where we get a gunfight between. No kung fu not as much kung fu in this scene, this bit of the movie, as we just have a gunfight between the police and the assassins. Sadly, Alexander, the guy with the iguana, fails his task and is eventually shot by Damien, leaving the iguana fatherless or masterless, whatever. I don't like calling I don't like referring to pets as like having a master. That just seems like a thing I don't like saying. Mostly because I'm just uncomfortable with people having the title master.
I feel like that's not exactly done anymore either at all.
Yeah, no, it's faded out. Owner more regularly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, no. Anyway, moving on. Eventually, our heroes arrive on the scene as the assassins are starting to get the upper hand on the police. They are shot at. And Vicky gives the two of Eric and Justin shit for not bringing a gun to a gunfight. Which, when did they have an opportunity to bring a gun? To go get a gun? I don't know that they had a lot of time. This seems pretty rushed. There's a couple scenes like this that are put in kind of unnecessarily. Like, this movie could be compressed by like 10, 15 minutes if they really wanted to, I feel like. It'd be a lot more coherent.
Movie should be compressed by like, I don't know, an hour and 30 minutes.
That'd be the entire length of the film? Yeah, a movie's only
exactly
82 minutes long or oh, yeah. That's an indictment.
It's the point I'm trying to make.
Okay, yeah, okay. Anyway, yeah, so they arrive on the scene. They end up having to dodge out of the way, even though they were getting fired at from the driver's side door, and they somehow get out of the truck and go start dealing with the goons. This is where Justin beats up the goon Alexander, and Damien ends up killing him because he was being incompetent. So that's a bit. Eric eventually gets inside the safe house and manages to shuffle Goldberg out of there before Damien can fire a grenade launcher into the safe house, which another one of the goons, I think it's Spider, throws a propane tank into, causing a absolutely massive explosion. So yeah, as they're backing off, as Goldberg starts to get away, Warbeck says that they should withdraw. To which Bromfield. To which Bromfield's just like, no, you do what I tell you, or you're not getting my money. So Warbeck just kills Bromfield and takes his money, which he has with him.
Yeah, that just seems like oversight on like every single account to be like, I'm gonna hand you this suitcase full of money once the job is done.
Which I'm going to keep on to me the entire time I'm inside your super secret deadly hands of Kung Fu school.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is bad. I mean, again, you'd think that like, okay, this character's like a mob boss or something, but clearly he's not. Like,
Mm-hmm.
clearly he doesn't have that sort of experience. But whatever. Our heroes have taken out probably 4 of the 6 goons at this point. Eric goes to go retrieve Goldfield and Goldberg. He goes to retrieve Goldberg and tells Vicky to stay there in the middle of where the gunfight just was. Brilliant plan. I don't know why they're bothering. Although, I mean, to be fair, like, Eric and Justin don't know that the hit's been called off, but why would you just tell her to stay put? Granted, Vicky's pretty competent at this. First thing she does is go to get a gun. Unfortunately, Spider and Damien manages to get a hold of her and disarm her, because no matter how competent a woman is, she has to be captured for the final act. It's just Eric, Justin, and Goldberg get into a car to go chase him, which brings me to a point this movie's very bad at. So in the old westerns, they would have guys with black hats and white hats. This could be said to like symbolize the difference between like good and evil or whatever, but it also serves a handy function, particularly on older televisions at the time. It lets you tell the actors apart easier. And during this whole scene, the evil goons have all been like black tank tops, and Justin, our hero, is also wearing a black tank top. So it's very hard to tell. It can be hard to tell them apart, especially since one of the major goons is his fucking brother, like in real life. So
yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
which I'd almost let go. I was almost gonna let that go, especially like knowing that like, okay, these are like brothers. That it could be difficult either way. But especially like this is a kung fu movie. Oftentimes guys end up going shirtless in these. That could have been, if that ends up being the case, that's just a problem either way. But they get into this car chase. Both of them are in this exact same car, more or less, or at least very similar looking cars, very similar colors. They get and they start this car chase. Eventually, there's another car on the road who they need to chase out of the way, and it's the same fucking car. They got 3 of the same fucking car in this car chase. Like, at some point, you need to like make sure your actors and your props look different, right? It was just bugged the shit out of me. Like, how do you even find 3 of the same car? This isn't the 1920s where Henry Ford is making them all in black.
I was gonna say, like, at least in the beginning, the prior to the safe house, they had the they're all cop cars, right?
I mean, they're not actual cop cars. They're just like
they go from the cops like safe house to they're undercover cop cars.
Yeah, I mean, they're cars belonging to cops. I wouldn't call them cop cars.
Yeah, but like, would you classify as a cop car anyways?
A car with all the livery, like the police livery on it.
But if it's an undercover cop car, they wouldn't have any livery on it anyways.
Yeah, but then it's just like a car they're driving, and they can throw a light on it. It just makes it a regular car.
It's a cop car.
Yeah, it's a car. It's a car that a cop is driving.
So mostly, some of the older models of cop cars were all Crown Vics, and then I think the newer like SUVs, I think they're Ford Explorers. Like, they're still technically branded cars. So I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching.
But I mean, yeah. This would also be a little. You also do have a point to an extent, but also that doesn't explain the third civilian car. Which looks exactly the same. Just
what happened to their car?
The truck they showed up in, it got blown. It got blown. It got shot to bits. It was like pouring out steam,
Okay.
so that wasn't usable clearly.
Sure, fair enough.
I don't know that the assassins came in a car.
No, they probably
Because
just
they might have
walked
hoofed
into
it.
the woods.
Yeah, they might have they might have hoofed it to a certain extent.
Sure.
That seems pretty. Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable. But yeah,
It's
it's just they
not.
have a big problem with like people dressing the same. Yeah. At least Michael Blanks is where it has like dyed like frosted tips into his hair. Which I don't like to call it that because it's actually not that bad a hairstyle. He's just blonde, tied the top of his head blonde so that he looks different. Which they needed to do. At least they had that much good sense, or maybe he was just dressed like that in this period of time. But who knows? Which is good because Michael and Billy end up fighting later in the movie, so that's great. Which that must be fun for them. You and your brother fighting in like an actual action movie together, that makes you happy for them, really. So yeah, we get into a car chase. Eventually, they start Spider starts shooting at takes on Damien's grenade launching rifle and fires grenades at the car of our heroes, eventually causing it to flip, which they narrowly avoid, giving them some time to get away. Vicky tries to get out of the situation. She's chained up in the back. She tries to choke out Damien, but doesn't get away with it. Which, yeah, she's pretty competent, but it's just, and I'm not really mad at this individual movie. It's just like, and it's really not the worst example of a movie doing this, but yeah, no, she can't be competent enough to escape prison, which I'm saying more of is a joke, but still. They get to get back to the school, and Eric and Justin fight their way through. We get our big epic fight between between Michael and Billy, eventually ending with Michael just wailing the absolute shit out of Billy, just wailing the absolute shit out of Michael, to the point where like he gets knocked down and they spray a bunch of steam onto Michael's face, which is just oof. Yeah, we get into our big fight here. That ends up going. They've also spread bombs around the school for whatever reason. So that's a thing that's in this movie. We've also kind of just forgotten about all the evidence that Vicky has on her. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we get our final fight. We get some more of our final fight. Eric goes to save Vicky. He tries to pull her up, but is eventually met by Damien, who he has a big fight with. Damien eventually has a jump on him, gets him on the ground, starts cutting at Vicky's rope that's holding her, because they have her held over the edge of a tower because it's dramatic. We get, in this part of the movie, we get all our big speeches from Warbeck about his motivation, and he's just like, oh, well, why can't I just have a secret martial arts school where I get to kill whoever I want? And Vicky's just like, because you're not. He's like, how come the government can do that and I can't? And she's just like, because you're not the government. And he's just like, oh, well, the government's elected by the people, and so the people give them the right to kill people, and I'm people, so I should be able to give myself the right to kill people. Which is, yeah, this is a terrible rant. He's trying to choose scenery as best he can. So yeah, and during the he's also kind of annoying during the fight between Spider and Justin. He just does like sports fan commentary over it. He's just like, yeah, fight him through the entire thing, and I'm not exaggerating. Like, you're getting like, he literally just says verbatim, come on, Spider, fight him. And yeah, he's just really annoying. They're just cutting it in for no reason. Eric eventually kicks Damien off the side of the tower and manages to pull Vicky out, and he gets a kiss. So that's a thing. They apparently had a serious relationship, I guess. They could have clarified that better. That would have been an easy thing to have like a throwaway
They
line
had
about.
lunch. That was the only thing that
Yeah, I
they
suppose.
actually like we saw them do. It was like, I'll buy you lunch, and that was like it. So there was no inclination that they were in any form of relationship throughout this whole entire film. So
I realize 90s movies, it's just sort of like implied that one of the lead actors will get with the lead actress, but I don't need to play around with that. I can expect better of them. So Justin, after beating Spider, goes to find Warbeck and finds out that Warbeck is being replaced by hologram. Which, how much of that would have been a great twist if it turned out that Warbeck was just a hologram the whole time and that he was just like a rogue AI? That would have been so much cooler. And then they could have done like a VR final fight.
You're giving this movie way too much credit.
No, I'm making a point against it. Like, that would have been a cool twist, and they didn't do it. Like, that would have been kind of wild if it just turned out that Warbeck was an AI the entire time. That would have been kind of impressive. So yeah, Justin plugs himself into the VR to fight him in VR for a little bit, which I've already just said they could have made better use of this. So he ends up doing that for a little bit, and then Warbeck's just like, oh yeah, you know what? There's more bombs. You should go get those. And Justin goes to presumably go do that, but not actually, because he just ends up wandering into the courtyard of the school where apparently Warbeck has a laser field set up and tries to squish him with that. But Justin manages to grab a random bow staff that's lying around and shove it and throw it through the energy field into a power box and shutting off the energy field. At that point, he gets into his final fight with Warbeck, which he eventually wins. And just before he gives his final roundhouse kick to him, is just like, well, I'm here to bring you back to reality, and then roundhouse kicks him. Eric and Vicky hit the fire alarm and also shout that there's a bomb so that people will get out of the building. After defeating Warbeck, Justin picks up Warbeck and takes him out of the building. Which, okay, how come they killed all the goons but they let Warbeck live?
Plot armor, in case there was ever a sequel greenlit.
I guess, and they do kind of say that later, but I think you could have.
I think the video game tried to bait out for a sequel,
think so,
but like nobody was funding that.
Yeah, unfortunately, the video game is, to my knowledge, sucks more than the movie.
Yeah,
we're actually getting off easy just watching the movie. So, yeah, apparently this just got like a DVD release too, or like a Blu-ray release. Yeah, no. Wikipedia is saying the movie was released on Blu-ray in 2022 by Vinegar Syndrome.
Huh.
I'm just gonna Google that, see if that comes up. Yeah, Vinegar Syndrome has it on.
I can buy it as a DVD for $42, or a VHS copy is for $60.
I'm getting it's on sale for half price for $22
on Blu-ray.
Oh, I think it's this is I actually don't think this is Blu-ray. I think this is just VHS.
Yeah, I can get a used copy for $24.99, but if I want a new VHS, $60. And this is from Amazon, so.
Oh, I'm on like Vinegar Syndrome's website.
Oh, I don't even know what Vinegar Syndrome is.
I guess they make boutique VHS releases.
I don't know.
I might buy this. Finishing the episode before I start shopping. So after that, the movie's pretty well over. Eric just does a whole speech about how Warbeck was the first cyber criminal, possibly the first of many, and then we just end as in like static. So that's the end of the movie.
I kind of want to just like they've got some really cool Blu-ray copies of like very bad looking films.
Yeah, it might be kind of interesting. But yeah, no. What do you give the movie, Cody?
Like a 1 out of 10.
I'm at a 5.
Yeah, I can't even really give it a 5 if they probably like I don't know, actually made a story with decent VR.
Yeah, you know what? You've talked me down to a 4. Like that did not take much. But yeah, no, because yeah, you're right. Like as soon like my heart's saying higher, but you're right. It does deserve less than that.
If they
Like I'm just
actually solidified out the whole entire like beginning part, which was super confusing, then maybe I would have went higher. But
it didn't stick to its main character as much,
yeah,
which was very confusing.
very confusing.
Yeah, I think that's pretty well it. We talked about a lot of this. See us in a little while. We're gonna review the Snowman, the 2017 horror movie for Christmas, because
Nice.
we thought that would be fun.
I like doing horror movies around Christmas.
Yeah, that's always all right. And we did Black Christmas last year. Yeah, I don't want to do the remakes, either of them. I think that would just be dumb.
There's a remake
Yeah, there's 2 remakes
of Black Christmas?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, 2017 wasn't that long ago. Why are they remaking the Snowman? So
No, they remade one in between 2017 and the original. I think it's like there's like a 2001 one or something.
fair.
Oh yeah, I guess I have a new social media. I'm on Blue Sky now.
I don't know what that is.
It's knockoff Twitter, but better because it doesn't just let you spout the N-word endlessly.
It's not run by Elon Musk, who's a
Yeah.
free speech absolutionist. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, it's run by Jack Dorsey, the old guy from Twitter, who's less of a piece of shit.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's hard to be a worse person than Elon Musk without like killing a bunch of people.
It is saying something.
Yeah, no. I mean, on terms of people I don't think have like a huge death count, I think Elon Musk is one of the biggest assholes in comparison to his death count. I don't think Elon Musk has killed like a lot of people.
A lot of people.
Like in a sufficiently direct. Yeah, no, I don't think in a sufficiently maybe somewhat indirectly, but I don't think very directly enough to make him like a.
I like to think that Elon Musk just is like the person that secretly hunts white people. I don't know why I said specifically white people. Just people in general.
Honest. Yeah, I feel like he would more be willing to hunt black people, if anything. But with
jeez,
the Blood Emerald mine. Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Anyway, yeah, so that was my announcement. It's just Lord Brokenshire at bluestyes.social.
Fair enough.
I don't have event. I mean, I don't know how many people are on it right now. I mean, it's invite only still. But you can like find invite codes. People just put them out on the internet. I forgot where I got mine. Like I got mine off like a Twitter thread of a Twitter thread. Not because I'm boycotting Twitter. Also because I'm pretty sure Elon Musk is losing money off Twitter. So if you stay on it, it actually costs him money. So yeah, no, I mean, I don't think it's morally wrong to use Twitter yet. If he starts making money, it might become that, but it's not right now anyway.
Fair enough.
Anyway, see you soon. Happy holidays.